McTague from Fly-Carpin. Today we're going to tie McTage's McLuvin carp fly. This is a soft hackle tied in a headstand fashion using my method of using a bead and bead chain tripod with a rabbit or micropine squirrel tail providing drag to create a hook-up attitude with a very unique action. I'm going to start by damming on a 3.25mm brass bead, and we're going to add bead chain just forward of the hook point. Now, I've been working for over a year to try and incorporate my trouser worm headstand style into a more crayfishy or nymphy pattern. I have not had a lot of luck with my attempts at getting kind of a bulky crayfish pattern in this style to be effective. The carp just haven't liked it. It just hasn't worked out. But this more delicate, sparse, soft hackle style has worked out great. And at the end I'm going to show you some video of the fly underwater, and you'll get an idea of the kind of lifelike action this design is capable of. Okay, so we've worked our thread to the aft, well down the bend of the hook. I'm going to take some micropine squirrel brown, pull off the last 1/8 of an inch of hair or so, and we're going to latch that down. I'm going to start with one soft wrap, and we're going to go on ahead and cover it with a bunch of thread wraps. But we're going to stop the thread wraps just forward of the final location where we want to latch down. And we're going to go on ahead and add some dubbing wax and some single barb rust free range dubbing. This is available over the internet from singlebarb.com, and it's really nice stuff. It's got a lot of different colors worked into it. It's got some micro flash, some UV elements. It's a really beautiful dubbing. If you don't have this or don't want to order it, go ahead and substitute kind of a light rust dubbing of some kind. So we're going to go on ahead and dub over the micropine, and you're going to work it back so that the dubbed thread is what's actually locking down the micropine so that the thread doesn't cut it. Then you're going to dub forward, and we're going to do this in 2 sections of probably 3 inches of dubbing. Things just tend to work out better in terms of your fly's overall appearance when you don't try and dub the whole body with one super long section of dubbing. Alright, so we're starting the second dubbing section, and we're creating a slight taper, nothing severe. You don't want a really huge bulky body on this fly. Now we're going to add some brown Hungarian partridge for the soft hackle. This is more expensive than pheasant rump, for example, but you can tend to get some smaller feathers, and this fly could easily get overwhelmed with pheasant rump. Although if that's what you have, feel free to use that. All right. Now, if you hold the feather at the attitude that you want it at and do 2 soft wraps and then 2 hard wraps, it's going to tend to stay at that attitude. You want it to be pointing back and across, sweeping across the body. So first you can see that I kind of swept the feather down to give me a little pointy section to grab on, and folded the feather. I'm going to wrap it once, capture it with my pointer finger on the back side, bring it around again, bring it down to the bottom, and capture it with your thread. Now, what you do with the tip of the feather that's poking out is up to you. Honestly, frequently you can leave that in there and it tends to blend in with the rest of the feather. For this particular fly, it was a little bit longer than I wanted, so I'm going to go on ahead and trim it out. If I wasn't making the video, I might make a better effort to get it trimmed close. Now we're going to add UV dub pink shrimp for the head. And I'm going to go for a fairly tight dub here. We're not really going for a loose, buggy dubbing effect. And in particular, we don't want a really large head here. We're trying to keep a rather low profile. Right, so we're going to take just 2 wraps behind the eyes in front of the soft hackle. You don't want to really add a lot of dubbing in that area because that'll tend to oversweep the soft hackle back and overwhelm it. And then we're going to take a couple of diagonal turns over the dumbbell eyes in each direction and then dub in front of the eyes. And we've created our head. You can see it's a fairly small head. You don't want a big bulbous head on this fly. I'm going to finish twice because I don't use any head cements in my carp flies. Cut that, trim the tail, and the fly is complete. Now we've got some bathtub footage. You can see the unique action that this style of fly has. I think it really looks great. Carp seem to like it, and you know, I'm McLuvin it.